Hey there, you mean DC fans. Welcome, and if you are new, I am Mantis Toboggan, and today we are going to talk about Absolute Batman issue number 9. Let's go. All right, just to preface this, Absolute Batman number 9 picks up directly from the intense events of the predecessor issue number 8. In that issue, Batman found himself in a precarious situation, narrowly escaping from the clutches of Mr.Freeze, Jr., that is, and his overwhelming army of ice zombies from the older, let's say, frozen people of Gotham. This confrontation was part of Batman's relentless investigation into the mysterious death of his childhood friend, Matches Malone. Batman's tactical retreat in that issue set the stage for his determined and urgent pursuit of his answers to find out what happened with Waylon Jones. So let's check out this issue. This issue opens with a surprising scene of global geopolitical intrigue as Abdul and Omar, the respective heads of the Kandak and Karak uh, states, I guess, countries. It looks like a meeting between the two leaders here about an ongoing war, and they're trying to broker a peace, and they're going to announce it tomorrow. But as they start walking towards the door, they notice blood coming from the bottom of one of the doors as Abdul accidentally steps in it. And once they open the door, Bane says, "Hello."
Hello.
Forgive me for interrupting, gentlemen.
As Bane is foreshadowing what he wants to happen in the future by saying he was
Crushed about their breakdown in talks.
as one of them had betrayed the other, killing them. He then asks,
Which one of you was it that did that?
and the one guy says, "You can't threaten us. I'm not afraid of you." And the other guy says, "I'll do it. I'll do it." And then he's a little coward, breaks down in fear for his own life. Understandable. Bane's pretty big there. Grabs the one dude by the head that tried to act all tough, and then just crushes his skull. Then he grabs the guy that's supposed to help him out and put on this facade, and he grabs him by the throat, telling him he's going to give a speech. And it may be a little difficult, but his people really believe in his leadership and skills,
As do I.
Bane says. One thing you'll note here is Bane seems very strong, big, and powerful, but also very eloquently spoken. Kind of reminds me of Bane from The Dark Knight Rises.
Let's not stand on ceremony here, Mr. Wayne.
So anyway, as he keeps talking to this guy, Bane's phone rings and picks it up and says,
Forgive me, I have to take this. Gotham City? Yeah, I'm on my way.
And next we cut to Batman, who's walking past a couple of guys in an alleyway. Looks like he may have been interrogating them. We're also getting narration from Alfred's point of view here, and Batman's going around interrogating people from the criminal underworld to find out what happened to his friend Waylon Jones, as he's been missing for 2 weeks. He's taken out so many members of the Maronis and Falcones that the hospital had run out of ambulances to bring them in. And because of that, they started using Uber and Lyft to get the injured people to the hospital. And then they ran out of those as well. Then, using people on bikes. It's wild. He's on a heater for sure. Next, you see Officer Barbara Gordon cooking some dinner and on the phone with her father, Jim. She states that there's a temporary state of emergency that Harvey's enacted. She hears a voice in the other room say, "Officer Gordon," telling him she would call him back. She goes around the corner into the other room and points her gun at the head of Batman, but realizes it's actually just his helmet as Batman is reaching out asking for help. Next, we see Batman had set up a meeting at the Gotham Zoo where Barbara shows up. And Batman asks, "Where is he?" referring to Waylon. Barbara says, "Apparently we took him," showing him a file on the investigation as Batman asks where they took him. Barbara confirms with the file that Waylon was nabbed by the GCPD in cooperation with the folks running the new Arkham facility. I can't believe he took him there. Next, we cut to Bruce, dressed as Batman, surrounded with his friends as well as Alfred in a condemned building that they broke in to meet. He says they took him to Arkham, but they don't know why. And the file is saying it was for breaking the city lockdown, but Bruce realizes that doesn't really make any sense. From the file, they also find out that Gotham City Municipal had already claimed his property as eminent domain. Alfred says, well, why would they do that unless they know he's not coming back? Alfred then says these arcs, as as in plural, because there's actually many of them. This just happens to be Arc M. There are actually 12 others around the world. And functionally, they're black sites, but rumors of some bad things happening in them, some really bad things. They start to discuss that the groundwork for all this had been laid out throughout months, and that whatever was going on had been in the works for a long, long time. It's revealed that in the 1800s there was some kind of hospital on the island, and that it had burned down in the 30s. JK Industries ended up buying the land that the hospital was on, which JK Industries, I wonder if that's Joker. Interesting there. And they discovered that private records show that they'd been working on the site, digging, bringing in materials for whatever these arcs are. And it begins and ends with the one there in Gotham. They find that they may be able to actually use the piping and ventilation system as an entryway to break in and see what's going on. Bruce says that, once he goes in and breaks Waylon out, that they're going to need a way to keep Waylon safe. And it's suggested by the group using witness protection and maybe move him to Metropolis, seeing that it may be out of reach from whoever did it and the GCPD. The conversation gets a little heated as Bruce smacks the table and kind of destroys it. Stuff flies up and says, you guys wanted in on how Batman's world is, and this is how crazy it is. We cut to Jim in his office there, and there's a news program on the TV saying Mayor Hill announced that the city would remain under curfew indefinitely as he and Commissioner Bullock continue to enhance Gotham's police force in partnership with private law enforcement agencies. As they're watching the TV show, Jim and Martha Wayne get into a little bit of an argument, but nothing of substance there, as Jim is going to support Martha on the next chapter of her life and whatever she decides to do. Next, we see a flashback showing Bruce and Selina laying butt-ass on a bed full of cash as they get a knock on the door. Selina says, grab the cash, back window, now. She's used to trying to make a quick getaway when she's discovered. But Bruce just walks to the door and looks through the hole saying, it's just Waylon, don't worry about it. Waylon burst in saying, I got it, as both Bruce and Waylon hug, which, he's freaking naked there. It's weird. Waylon reveals that he got a title shot against the champ Bilbo Babowski. Waylon then asks Bruce to train him, as Bruce just is like, why do you want me to train him? And he's like, because you're my best friend, bro. We flash forward to the present as Bruce is putting on his bat scuba gear. Alfred then asks him if everything's all right. They're not really saying much. He's like, he's got a lot on his mind. Bruce says, no, I'm good. And then he jumps in the water as he turns on his comm and checks them, and they are good at that point. Bruce quickly moves through a maze of underwater caverns. It took him about an hour to get to the main cavern, and then an old shaft to get him into the old hospital. Alfred then uses the comms to guide him up through and into the building. He finds an entryway through the pipe as he says, Alfred, I can see the lights. And Alfred's like, according to the blueprint, you're still 100 or so meters beneath the prison. He said, what? As Alfred says, what is it, Bruce? What did you find? And Bruce says, the real Arc M. Next, we see Bruce perched above a massive cavern under here, revealing Arc M as a huge, almost city-sized complex. Yes, for sure, these people have been moving stuff in and out of here, creating a whole major operation underneath this island. Bruce jumps down as Alfred says, Bruce, wait. But he couldn't hear him on the comms at this point. I guess he's too deep or there's interference there. Bruce, he says he's in and he's moving through the corridors, asking Alfred if he's there. Bruce is still trying to reach Alfred, saying, come in, come in. I don't even know what I'm looking at. As there's a creature's bones seemingly frozen in ice there with wings. It's saying, I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. Alfred, are you there? Are you there? He says. Alfred notices the fear in his voice as he's staring at this creature in the ice and glass. Then Bane shows up. Bane joins the scene as he says,
hello,
and kicks Batman right in the chest. Knocks him back and says,
go on, it's okay.
as he saw Batman about to use his chains that are, hooked onto his cape. Batman throws them out as they press against Bane's chest and pulls him forward. Bruce lunges to land a punch, but Bane blocks it and says,
Muay Thai. Nice.
as he recognized the martial art Muay Thai. Bane then casually hits Bruce's arm that he had blocked, and Bruce says, "It's all right. Focus. You have another arm." Kind of, taunting him. Bruce then uses his other arm as he blocks it again as Bane hits his elbow on the other side. And then Bane finally punches him in the chest and says,
Yeah, that's right. You still got your legs.
Batman then says, "Fuck you." As Batman tries to kick him, Bane dodges that and then punches Bruce right in the face as his blood splatters on the floor from the punch. Bruce, clearly out of breath, says, "Is that all you got? Come on, I only need one leg to kick your ass, you juiced up." Then Bane interrupts him and says, "Juiced up? I haven't even used this stuff yet. But if you want to see what it does." And then you can see Bane does use the quote-unquote stuff as he starts changing him. You can see pictures of it infused throughout his body, moving through the tubes as he grows. Bruce says, "What are you?" staggering back. Bane shows him as a monstrous being now, grabs Bruce by the head and says,
Call me Bane. Welcome to your new home. Now let's get you prepped for surgery.
and to be continued. All right, guys, that was Absolute Batman issue number 9. This one was a long one, had a lot of cool stuff in there. A fight with Bane as you see him for the first time, and Bane is all juiced up now. We can assume, or I'm assuming, that Joker is involved in these arcs that are kind of spread out. We saw Joker earlier in the series at the end of one of the issues. But this, prepped for surgery thing, I don't know. Maybe they're going to try and turn Batman into an abomination. Let me know how you guys thought about this issue, and if you want to see any new ones or other issues or other series that we should be getting into, leave us a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel You Mean DC. And again, we appreciate everyone watching and subscribing and liking the videos. It's what we do for you guys. And again, until next time, later.